I'm David Ainsworth, Head of Communications for the United Nations Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity. In today's SBI4 Biodiversity Beat interview, we're talking with Sooto Ajayi, who's the Africa lead for Business for Nature. Sooto, great to have you.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
So I've talked with other parts of Business for Nature before, and this is a great chance to talk with you directly here. So the biodiversity plan, the framework, takes a whole of society approach working on it here, and that of course includes business. So can you talk about why is that important that business recognizes biodiversity and becomes part of this plan?
Thank you. So first of all, just to give a little bit of context as to why the whole of society approach is important. When people think about biodiversity, they might think about like snorkeling in the ocean, or they might think of going on safari. Biodiversity is all of this. Biodiversity is the various forms of life, and all of those various forms are connected to each other, and they provide us with the ecosystem services that we are so desperately dependent on, but often very ignorant of. So by default, every person in every business is engaging with biodiversity, and they are dependent on biodiversity, impacting biodiversity, but they may not know whether they're doing so in a more responsible way. So with Business for Nature, one of the things that we are looking at is how to encourage the high-level business actions for nature, which is Act D. So A, assess your material impacts and dependencies. C, commit to setting science-based targets. T, transform your business operations and models according to those targets. And then D, disclose. So let us know how you're doing. Let us know how much progress you're making. And by doing this, businesses can be part of the plan, like the theme of International Biodiversity Day.
Exactly. So there's a campaign that Business for Nature launched. It's Now for Nature. So tell us about this great campaign.
So this is super exciting because this is talking about how businesses can take that credible business action. Because some businesses might wonder, what does that actually look like? So there's been a huge corporate surge in action for nature, but the businesses who don't want to get left behind are not sure of what exactly does this mean. So with the campaign, we have developed what is called the Nature Strategy Handbook, and this takes you through step by step what you need to do as a business to know how best to contribute to tackling nature loss. So we have just published about five strategies just yesterday. You can find them on nowfornature.org. And then we're going to be publishing a couple more ahead of COP16.
That's great. That's excellent. I want to get a look at this handbook.
You should.
For sure, it sounds good. Right, and so the other thing you're talking about is there's sector guidance. That's what you're talking about here. Okay, so sector guidance, but let's really make it practical. How does that guidance translate into on-the-ground actions?
So a lot of businesses might also say, oh, but we're not in oil and gas, we're not in agriculture, so biodiversity is not relevant for us. So the sector guides take you through 12 different sectors. They provide an overview of the priority actions that each sector can be taking to contribute to halting and reversing nature loss. And so whether you are in food, or you're in fashion, or you're in the concrete industry, there's something that you can be doing. And then it also takes you through what are the common ways that these sectors are interacting with nature. And so in terms of on-the-ground action, if you want to know, okay, what do we need to do like right now, you can just look through those sector actions, and then you have something for tomorrow.
That's amazing. Tell me, in putting those sector guidance plans together here, so what was your consultation process? Do you remember how they came together?
Yeah, so we have been working with the World Economic Forum and the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. And so we were engaging with different businesses and trying to see how can we break it down in the simplest of terms. So for companies that might be thinking, okay, we don't know if we're ready for an entire nature strategy, but we just want to have a kind of beginner, biodiversity in a more simple way, then this kind of lays it out for them.
Great.
Yeah.
These sound amazing. So I have to look at those too.
Yes, you do.
I have a lot of reading ahead of me. That's good.
Lots of good homework.
Perfect. Well, we'll have to disseminate these. Okay, well, Sooto, thanks for joining us. Are you coming to COP16?
Yes, I will. I'm very excited.
So then let's have this conversation at a COP16.
Amazing.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.